Thinking Outside the Box. Welcome to another valuable episode of Think Outside the Box every single Wednesday. This is Cody with Secure Agent Mentor and SecureAgentMentor.com. This is where we talk about creative prospecting ideas that you can do to blow your business up and to become a freak in the insurance industry. If you haven't checked out our website, dude, you got to do it. We are killing it. SecureAgentMentor.com. This is going to be when it comes to thinking outside the box and being creative. What I want to talk about and what I want to bring to you is when you do get creative, when you do start thinking outside the box, and listen closely to this. Think about big numbers while you're doing it. Think about large numbers, because when you're getting creative and thinking outside the box, it's really easy to say, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to get creative. I want to figure out a way to do $100K a year." You can come up with a way to do $250,000 a year, or even $500,000 a year, if you think creative enough, or if while you're thinking creative, you're also thinking about large freaking numbers, crazy big numbers. And so everyone's got a little bit of creativity in them. I like to think I've got more than most sometimes, just because I've been in this business a while and I kind of know what works, what doesn't, and I've tried a ton of different things. I've tried hundreds of different ways to be successful in this business. But I'm always thinking of being better. I'm always thinking of doing more. I'm always thinking of being more creative. You can't ever let your creative juices ever stop flowing. They've got to always be going. You've got to always be getting intense. You've got to always be thinking about what else could I do, and what could I do that could blow up my business, and start thinking about some big numbers. What kind of numbers do you want to do? Think bigger. If you start thinking about, hey, what can I do to do some large numbers, or you make your numbers larger when you are getting creative, there's a bigger chance that you will get more creative. If you start thinking, hey, what's the best way for me to spend $0 and make $50K? You know what? Your mind will get mildly creative. But if you say, hey, how can I do $150K and only spend less than $1,000 a month? Then your mind will get very creative, because you're forcing your mind to get creative, because you're thinking about bigger numbers. You're thinking about a large amount of income. You're thinking about not still spending a decent amount of money. Think about spending, in my business, I want to get to where I'm spending $1 million a year. I know if I'm spending $1 million a year, I'm going to be making millions of dollars. I'm going to be helping millions of people, and I'm going to be a millionaire. That's kind of the way I think about it. I've already spent probably $50,000 on my business this year, and we're in May. We're in the middle of May. I've spent close to, if not a little more, than $50,000 on my business already, because I'm not thinking about how much can I profit right now. I just want to figure out how can I leverage money and think about some big numbers and grow my business exponentially and really, really quickly. And if you think the same way, if you start thinking the exact same way when you're thinking about, when you get creative and you think outside the box and you figure out your prospecting methods and your systems, if you think about large numbers, it is so much easier for your creative juices to flow. When I'm waking up every morning thinking about, hey, how can I make $1 million by the time I'm 30 years old? What's hilarious is I know that I'm the most creative when I'm in the shower. As weird as that is, and as funny as that is, I'm always thinking about business while I'm in the shower. And I get some creative, crazy ideas that come to me because I'm sitting there thinking creatively, and I'm thinking about big numbers. So when you think about big numbers, it forces me to get super creative and to be more creative than the next guy that's thinking creative. When it comes to this business, you've got to be a creative thinker. You've got to be a forward thinker. You got to be thinking ahead of the curve. You got to be thinking bigger than your competition. You got to be ahead of your competition. You got to be thinking outside the box, which is why we do this, thinking outside the box, every single Wednesday. You've got to start thinking outside the box. You got to start thinking big. Think about some big numbers. Again, this is Cody with Secure Agent Mentor and SecureAgentMentor.com. Please check out our website. We've got some incredible new Facebook final expense leads. We're always trying to be creative, stay ahead of the curve, and think outside the box about some awesome creative lead generation methods and what's the best and what helps agents. So be creative, think creative, put some big numbers together to help your mind think more creative. Thanks for listening to Thinking Outside the Box. Have an incredible week. We'll see you next Wednesday.